Avec la PPT, ouais, ok. Bon, ben, du coup, on peut commencer alors.
It's live.
So, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon for this webinar. My name is Séverine Clément, and I'm the Executive Director of the Franco-Thai Chamber of Commerce. The Franco-Thai Chamber of Commerce is here to support its member in Thailand and more broadly to assist entrepreneurs and SMEs who wish to develop their business in the Thai market. We have also dedicated membership categories, especially designed for SMEs and for entrepreneurs in order to provide you with support and access to our business community. Before I give the floor to our speakers today, I just would like to give you a quick overview of our coming FTCC activities so that you gain the knowledge and seize the opportunity to join us in one or several of our coming events. So maybe just a little bit about the Franco-Thai Chamber of Commerce. We have been founded in 1966 by French entrepreneurs. This year, we are celebrating our 60th anniversary. We are a private non-profit organization and we are affiliated with CCI France International, that is a network of 125 French chambers around the world in 90 countries, federating over 36,000 members. To date, the Franco-Thai Chamber of Commerce federates 340 members that are French, Thai, and other nationalities. Our mission is to federate, promote, develop, connect, facilitate the Franco-Thai business community. So our coming activities, so this coming February 2024, we have a webinar from one of our members, but in French, Investir stratégiquement dans l'immobilier en France depuis la Thaïlande. So this is organized by Expatimo, a member of the FTCC. On February 2025, we are hosting a cross-cultural leadership workshop, a full day to understand how to navigate and how to work in a cross-cultural environment. On February 2026, we will have a panel discussion about women in hospitalities with a number of high professionals from the hospitality sectors in Thailand. On February 27 in Phuket, we're hosting a sustainability in hospitality and beyond with 3 speakers. So if you are in Phuket, do consider joining. On March 12th, we will celebrate Women's Day. And this year, the topic is AI and how AI can help women to develop their career. Finally, on March 19, it's our annual general meeting, open to all our FTCC members, followed by a networking cocktail open to the broad Franco-Thai business community. To make sure to follow our activities, you can connect to our website, francothaicc.com, or follow our page on Facebook or LinkedIn. And then for any question you may have, you may contact Quentin Bury, who's our membership manager, and Quentin will add in the chat his email address. So now I'm pleased to introduce Maître Benoît and Kanchai from Benoît and Partner, who will give the webinar today. Thank you again for joining us and attending this webinar, and we are looking forward to meeting you and seeing you in our coming events.
Thank you very much. I am Kanchai Sutakan. I will take the hand and I will share my screen. Okay, let me know if you see my screen now. Yeah.
Okay, Kanchai, we can see your screen.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, good. So before talk about setting up a company in Thailand, because this is the first topic we are going to discuss today. But let me introduce you first by myself. My name is Kanchai Sutakan. I am the FTCC counselor, chairman of the SME Committee. That's why you are here today. So this is the first time with Quentin here. We opening the first episode. We want to deliver a comprehensive guide for entrepreneurs, foreign investor, and business owner looking to establish in a legal entity in Thailand. Okay, so for who this conference, this webinar is for entrepreneurs, startup, is for foreign investor, is for SME business owners, is for corporate advisor. Okay, so our goal is to equip you with practical, actionable insights that we streamline your company formation process and help you in the end to avoid costly mistakes. Quentin, do you have any words before I give words to my partners?
No, it's okay. I'm very expected to listen, Maître Benoit.
Okay, so let's do this. Let me introduce you first, Maître Benoit. So he is the founder and partners and co-director at Benoit Partners. Okay, he is the head of corporate department and investment in Thailand. And I will let him introduce first and explain what he's doing with Benoit Partners in Thailand.
So thank you, Gunkan, for the introduction. Thank you, Céline, as well. So I'm Mr. Benoit. I'm a French qualified lawyer, and today I will explain you all the steps, of course, and all the criteria, all the information that you have to know and you need to know once you would like to do a business in Thailand, and especially once you want to setting up a company in Thailand. I will actually manage this webinar with my colleague, Dimitri, that is our head of property department in Benoit Partners. But because we will discuss about several topics, and I believe that, of course, my colleague will as well discuss more detail about some specific law and as well about the company, what will be the consequences if the company own the properties, because this is also a subject that is quite sensitive as of today, and we have to inform all our attendees that today they are listening to us. Of course, Kunkan, thank you, because Kunkan is the head of our visa department in our companies and administrative departments. But of course, mainly the speech, I will say, will be managed by me and Jima today. So thank you so much. We can, I think, go ahead with the next. Regarding our firm, so we are a firm based in Bangkok. We are actually in Ceylon, in which we are more than 35 employees in total, including more than 15 lawyers and also foreign consultants. So we are specialized in corporates, so actually for everything related to the companies, including the company incorporation, the business license, such as BY, FBL, and all the license will be as well is our specialties. So today, the topic we will discuss is what actually we see as per the law and actually what we are doing in terms of the practice. So we will share with you our experience and our knowledge to all the attendees as of today. What the topics will be covered, we will discuss about all the different structures that you can be established in Thailand, because actually not many people know, but there is different kind of structure that you can establish in Thailand to do a business. We will go a bit more technical in the foreign ownership rules, and we will maybe more discuss about the law. The law is a Foreign Business Act, in which it's a very ancient law that was in force since 1982, but with some amendment as well that has been made later. We will discuss about the BY, because I think BY is something that maybe some attendees know already, because it's quite famous in Thailand. But we will discuss in more deep and overview during these meetings. We will discuss as well about the timeline, the cost, the procedure. On number 5, it will be mainly what's the issue we saw, mainly when our client, they already set up sometimes their company by themselves, or when they want to do a business, what are the issue that we identify. And at the end, it will be a question answer, in which we will have mainly of 20 to 30 minutes question answer for all our attendees that they are here today. So thank you. We can go for the next step. Okay. So once you want to do a business, you have to know something. Become freelance in Thailand is mean that for a foreigner operating alone in Thailand is prohibited. Only Thai national can operate individually in Thailand. Foreigner must set up a company if they want to do a business in Thailand. So what we're talking about business, having a business, it means that making economical activities. The definition is quite large, given by the government. So you have to be, of course, careful of this part. For this, we can, of course, tell you what the government actually qualifies to be an economical activity or not. But there is a must to have companies if you want to today to do a business in Thailand. So when we're talking about business in Thailand today, we will talk about having a company in Thailand that serves the Thai market and having Thai clients, okay? So we're not talking about someone that maybe have an offshore company with a foreign client. We are talking today about someone that will establish a company in Thailand with Thai and we will serve with a Thai company and we will serve Thai client in the Thai jurisdictions. This is very important. So we can go ahead. So we have different structure that I want to go ahead. I know that many people see different structure, but I will focus in the most common structure, just to give you an overall. You must know that most of the entrepreneurs, they use, and when they open a company, there is not a lot of choice of company in Thailand, like you can see in France or in other jurisdictions. The most common type of company is the private limited company. It's an equivalent of in France will be la SARL, or in other jurisdictions it will be a limited companies in which the responsibility will be limited as per the amount of investment by the shareholders. For the directors, it will be different. The liability can be civil or either criminals, depending on the action of the director that have been done during the management of the companies. There is actually other point that will be discussed during the structure. We will discuss about the FBL. The FBL is a specific license that give actually a company 100% foreign ownership to the shareholder. So it means that the company will be foreign-owned company, 100%, until 100%. And we will discuss about the BY, the Board of Investment, that give as well the same benefit of the FBL plus tax incentives and non-tax incentives. We will go later, we will see later about this. But you must know that most of the entrepreneurs in Thailand, they used to operate a private limited company. This is the difference with a public limited company. With a public limited company, you need to have a registered capital of 50 million and you need to have a certain amount of shareholders, in which the private limited company is more flexible, more faster to do, and more easier to do. That's why the private limited company is the most common companies open in Thailand for the foreign entrepreneurs as of today. Thank you. So you must know well about the structure of the private limited company. So let's talk about the private limited company as I explained you. There was a law in February 2023 that actually given the minimum of the shareholder to be 2 shareholders. Before, to open a private limited company, you need 3 shareholders. So you must know that when you open a private limited company, you have different requirements that you have to do. You need to have promoters. The promoters can be the shareholders as well. And the promoters must be individuals. That's actually one of the requirements that you must have when you open the company. The shareholders must be minimum 2%. And you need to have at least 1 director. So that's actually the requirement when you want to open the company. You need to have as well an address. And on the address, it means that you need to have a physical address. It means that the premises must own the Tabian Ban. The Tabian Ban is the blue book that you can get to see that the building is properly registered in Thailand. There is no minimum of capital, often there is, I will say, because the minimum amount of capital that you can put in the company is 10 baht. It's 5 baht per share. That's the minimum that you can open. And if you want to have a work permit, you must have, if you want to apply for a work permit inside the company, it means that if the director is a foreigner or you would like to have foreign employees in the future, you must have a registered capital of 2 million baht per work permit. So that means that if you want 2 work permit, it will be 4 million capital. But there is an exception if you are married to a Thai national. The person that they are married to the Thai national, they just need 1 million capital. So that's very important. There is the difference that we can see when the people is married or not married to a Thai nationals. Regarding actually the rules for the company, we must tell you that there was some significant change regarding the opening of the company in Thailand. I will explain you what is it. When you open a Thai companies, we're talking about generally the company that is owned 51% by a Thai partner and 49% by a foreign partner. So once you want to open a company with 51% by a Thai partner, 49% by foreign partners, the law now has been more strict and changed since January 2026. The law actually clearly stated that the Thai partner must show the financial statement for the last 6 months. So they will need to show that the Thai partner had before the funds in his bank account to pay the registered capital. So this is actually a must that I will say the new enforcement of the law has been implemented to prove that the Thai partner is not actually a nominee. So that's actually the case. We want to discuss. Sorry, come back. Thank you, because I'm not finished this part. Thank you, Ken. We need to know. We need to make you sure about also something that is important. Once you want to open the company, always the director must sign most of the documents, and the shareholder need to sign as well the proof that, of course, they own the shares, and then we need to sign as well as the promoters must sign as well. 2 witnesses will be necessary to sign as well the documents, and you will need as well, once you open the company, to have 2 obligations. Number 1, you need to set up the shareholder book. The shareholder book is kind of it's a book where you can have all the history of the shareholder inside. This is mandatory as per the civil code. And you must as well have the share certificate. So the share certificate, it's some document that show that the shareholder, that is Thai and foreigner, own the shares. So this document is a must, and you must establish this document as per the law. Mainly, actually, those documents might be mandatory. If tomorrow you might be subject to a check or control by any department. So that's actually something I want to just really mention in these topics. Finally, just to maybe conclude with this slide, regarding the liability of the director and the shareholder. So many people ask us the question, okay, what can we do and what will be this? Just to be quick, the shareholder is responsible for the amount of the share that they own, is being over the amount of their investment, but the director has a bigger responsibility because the director is responsible for the management of, for the act of the company on the civil way and criminal way, if of course the company or the director has proceeded illegal action regarding this. I will go to another slide. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to add something here, if you don't mind. Just a few things to make sure we are on the same page about the company. By the Foreign Business Act, each company that contains of more than 51% on the Thai side, means that Thai nationals own more than 51%, is considered to be Thai company limited. But there are certain restrictions, part of which is for certain areas. I can give you example. It would be boat business related to tour business, requested for TAT license and so on, that may request more shares on the Thai side rather than 51%. It can be 70 to 30, sometimes it can be 75 to 25 ratio and so on. So we need to be pretty specific in the sense that which business we are talking about and what will be the minimum requested amount of shares on the Thai side or on the foreign side. And there is another thing which can be company registered in Thailand, but it can be considered as foreign company. So there are certain exceptions. Normally there are 3 lists, and all these lists are available on the Foreign Business Act, list 1, list 2, and list 3. There are different professions which are prohibited of doing by the foreigners, by the foreign companies. Means that entity can be set up within Thailand, but it can be 100% foreign shareholders. So some activities can be allowed with no additional license, And some activities may require additional license, like FBL license, BOI license, Treaty of Amity, and so on. So this is what we will discuss on the further slides.
So for the foreign ownership regulation, we must know that all the foreign ownership is actually stated on one law, in which is the Foreign Business Act. And mainly the main law, I would say, because there is other law as well, in which mention about this part, but the main law, I would say, that categorize this, is the Foreign Business Act. So this law actually is quite an ancient law, in which the last version was from 1999, and in which give three different lists, in which Thai people, they are not actually ready to compete with the foreigner. So we actually see three different list of the foreign business in this list, in which we have the first list, in which the business that is related to the national safety or security, in which here you cannot, any foreigner cannot actually own or do this business, so they cannot own the share in this. Is mainly for firearms, for ammunition, for components of firearms. These kind of activities, you must understand that is strictly restricted, and foreigners do not own the right to own the shares of these kind of companies. The second, process in which we have we see as well regarding, we have also all the business in respect on which the Thai national are not ready to compete with foreigner. So this is actually the main list that we will talk about, because it's a list 3. Mainly for the list 3 is where the person and I would say a foreigner can have the right to request for a foreign business license. So what is a foreign business license? It's a specific license that gives you the right to own 100% of the shares. So materially, or you can get this license, you must request to the DBD, to the head of the DBD, Department of Business Development, in which is normally the administration that taking care of the company incorporation. In this department, you have directly to submit your request to get the ABL. A lot of documents will be requested, to be honest, to get this ABL, including a business plan, including a lot of information with the activities of the companies. So this is a must. In the list 3, we can see all the different kind of business that actually you might be eligible to apply for the ABL. And of course, we will not go one by one because it's a bit complex. But for this part, mainly to explain you what is the ABL, I will let the speech to my colleague Dima, because of course he will explain you about the process, about the documents, about as well what kind of activities, give some example that can be eligible or not.
Yeah, sure. So again, for the businesses, if we are talking about foreign business license, there are multiple options what you can do, and most of the activities in the list 3, it's mainly service activities. That's where most of the businesses lie for people who are interested in activities abroad, and specifically in Thailand. So in most of the case, again, from our experience, what we see is that people are coming with certain ideas. They would like to implement them, but as usual, devil is in the details. So basically, we cannot say for sure 100% this type of business will be allowed or not, because it will depend on the activities. I can give you some specific example from our experience with the companies. For example, transportation companies, which is the business not allowed for the foreigners, transportation within Thailand part, but they were doing specifically business in and out of Thailand. So it's full delivery from, let's say, their office until the place where they this parcel, and the way how they structure it. So once we apply for FBL, we need to show not just the business plan, but exact step-by-step details of how we're going to do it. And there will be certain things that will be permissible and certain things that will be non-permissible. As example, for example, it should be reserved by the Thai nationals, the delivery within the country. Means that they cannot even issue the receipt in their name. So it should be receipt issued in the name of the transport company that will be doing this. And you know, there are many other things that are very, very specific and mainly on the internet People usually say it in general words, you can do this or you cannot do that. This is the point where you need to have a lawyer, you need to have people with experience who know how to dig, where to find information, how to validate this information. Surely they must validate it with the officials, because otherwise you will never get the right answer. Because as you know, on the internet, there is a lot of information. Everyone is using ChatGPT these days, and I think that what we see from our clients, that 80% of them are coming with information from ChatGPT, that at the end of the day, it's not really realistic. I don't know why, but they just think that, okay, we can trust this thing. But this is not the case. And it's not specific to Thailand, it's related to everything else. But again, you must make sure that you have a proper plan, you have all the details on a paper, you have sort of presentation, you have a good lawyers who can go and validate all this information to make sure that you are doing the right things. Because failing to comply with the FBL and in general with the laws in Thailand is pretty dangerous. It may look from the first glance that many people are doing the business here historically and everything was okay, but you can see the situation with nominees right now, which is a very buzzword, I would say, that you can see it in everywhere on the news, especially for the last 2-3 years. And people still don't really understand what does it mean. Means that there are many rules that you need to comply, but unfortunately in the field there are not so many professionals who know how to comply with it. Yeah, for the BOI.
So we were talking about one option, so with the foreign business license to get the 100% ownership for foreigner. But there is other ways in which we will not discuss today, but we will discuss now. It will be the BY, in which is the most actually common practice to get the foreign ownership for any entrepreneurs from France or from other countries to having business in Thailand. You must know that the BY is actually a specific license that actually provide a lot of significant advantages, in which is tax and non-tax incentives. So mainly we are talking about for the tax from 3 to 13 years tax exemption, in which you can get after getting the BY, depending on the categories. 5 categories, A1, A2, A3, A4, B. So starting by A1 is mainly research and development, in which you might be eligible to get 13 years. A3, A4 is mainly manufacturing and transformations. Also, you have A2, in which we have the category of the IT. So, and there is also the specific B, mainly we will be on the services. We have as well other BY in which category B, but for the B, you don't get any tax incentives, you just get the non-tax incentives, in which will be the 100% foreign ownership, the import duty exemption as well, and the land ownership right. So for the land ownership right, you must understand that it's not that you can do real estate projects, it's not the case. Is that you can own the building where you use for the business. So it's mainly actually the premises that you're using for the business. You can make a request to purchase and to be the owner, the legitimate owner under the BY. And it's not something that is guaranteed, it's subject to approval. And it might be some situation the BY will reject this request. So it's not actually a 100% mandatory. Mainly actually for the BY, you must know that different sections and sectors can get the BY. So not all companies' activities can get the BY. It's just the selected activities and business activities that can apply for the BY. So just to summarize them, we have the advanced in manufacturing and automation. We have the digital and technology services, the medical and healthcare services, the biotechnological and the pharmaceutical, the environmental and renewable energy, the research and development, and the high-value services and innovation. So that's actually mainly the most promoted BY. Recently, we see that a lot of BY was done in 2023 for green energy and also for new technology, in which there is more and more BY that has been coming in Thailand regarding this part. We saw as well still that there is always a lot of BY for manufacturing as well, still working very well. But you have to understand that the BY provide this special license if, of course, you can bring some investment. So the BY, how it works, is just not just a license that you apply and you get. It's not the case. You must make a proper business plan and match the category of the BY. The minimum investment with the BY is 1 million as per the definition of investment as per the BY, which is actually purchasing equipment, purchasing investment, purchasing machinery, among others. But normally, based on the practice that we have, the investment is quite significant more, especially if you want to do, for example, a factory, if you want to do another activities. And for other categories, the condition can be different. For example, for the IT, you must have Thai IT in which the salary per year will be 1.5 million Thai baht. So there is some requirement in which you must, additional requirement depending on the category that you must match. Some other category, they will ask you to have a certain amount of capital. This can be, for example, if you want to make a distribution center in which the capital will be 10 millions, or if you want to make an international business center in which the capital will be 10 million. So this is very important. That's why you must actually, of course, discuss with a lawyer and someone will have the experience that he can provide you what kind of different BY you can apply and what kind of benefits you can get. In terms of time frame, I will say that, of course, the time frame is generally for the BY that is less than 200 million investment is generally 40 working days, but in practically, we saw that actually the time frame is mainly 3 to 6 months based on our experience. Why 3 to 6 months? The time to develop and to prepare all the documents, the time to submit. Once we submit to the officer, we have a back and forward questions in which we have. And then after we resubmit the document, we comply all with the request. And then after we have the 40 days time frame that is applicable. So it takes actually more than 40 working days. Normally, you have two options for the BY. You can set up the company first and apply, or you can apply first to the BY, and after, when you get the license, apply for the BY. So both of solutions are acceptable. In our practice, in our firms, we generally prefer that we apply first to the BY and after set up the companies. But if tomorrow you have some expense that you want to maybe consider, it might be a possibility to open first the companies. Of course, you know, and opening the company first, it can be a good solution if, for example, you want to do at the same time some license. For example, if you have a factories, opening the company and applying at the same time at the BOI might be the good solution. So it will really depend on your business activity and your situation. And this we can, of course, you know, propose you what will be for you the best process to not waste time and to then to be efficient on the day that you are starting your business. Regarding the timeline, so just to be clear, so first of all, we apply for the BOI. Once we receive the BOI approval, we will set up first the BOI company. So the company, once we inject the capital of the company, we will request then the BOI certificate. With the certificate, it will take around 2 to 3 weeks after we apply. And then with the certificate, we can then proceed and start to request for the foreign visa. And we can
is it in the phase 2, right?
Sorry?
Can we ask a question at the end? Is it possible?
Yes, is it
yeah?
possible?
Yes.
Because I got
Keep your question.
Thank you. So just to explain you for the registration, after, of course, we get the BOI certificates, we can then proceed with all the onboarding of the foreign employees as well, the operations. And you must know that 2 times a year, in February and in August, you must actually provide a report to the BOI. So you have 2 times a year a reporting of the BOI that you must do during the years. So the BOI you get, normally when you get the BOI, as I explained you need to provide a business plan and you need to fill the form in which you have, once you get the approval of the BOI, follow the BOI conditions. So normally the BOI, they give you a contract in which you have to follow with the condition of the BOI. So here the cost breakdown so that we can explain you. Actually, opening a company in Thailand is not expensive in terms of government fees. the cost will be 5,500, not include, of course, the copy cost and the other cost of the copy, if you request, of course, to have the company documents. Having, for example, a work permit will be only 3,000. Having the non-B visa for the first 3 months will be 2,000 baht, and after, of course, for the extension will be the same price. Multiple entry will be 3,800. So actually, the cost, I will say, in terms of government fees is quite low if you want to operate and do a business in Thailand. Of course, you know, the fees can be a bit higher. If, for example, with the BY, you get visa for 2 years. That's what happened because you have to pay the fees for the 2 years fees. So in this case, you know, you will pay for the 2 years work permit, 2 years visa in one time, but you get actually 2 years. So it's actually a good option that you can get. After the government fees, you must know as well that there is some the BY and the foreign business certificate fees, in which is the most expensive government fees that you have to pay is 22,300 baht in total that you have to pay to get the foreign business certificate. On top of this, you need to add the legal fees. Mainly and generally speaking, the legal fees is much more higher than the government fees for what we see in terms of the practice, I would say. Why? Because actually, of course, working and opening a company, especially if you decided to go to a ABL or a BY company, it's kind of complex. There is some complexity to proceed. So the fees is actually quite higher. Regarding the registered capital, of course, many people told me, can I have the solution to not pay the capital? What is the best practice? You must pay the capital, especially that when you register a company of 2 million baht, it means that you must actually inject the 2 million baht in the company bank account. You must inject all the funds, pay up 100% if you want to open a work permit. If it's not the case, if you don't need a work permit, you can decide it, the law is clear, you can decide to pay first 25%. After the end of the year, 25% additional, 25% on the second year, and 25% on the third year. So that's actually more or less the practice that you can do. If tomorrow you are you want to open a company with no work permit or with the BY, because with the BY you can actually pay up the capital step by step. Actually, it's possible. Excluding is for some BY that they require pay up capital. So it's written on the condition. For all the operational, so mainly you will need to have a real office. This is actually very important, especially for the social security. Why? Because once you want the law in general in Thailand do not accept, like in Hong Kong, to have like a mailbox for the companies. They want to see that the Thai companies have a real office. So some place in which you can identify the company and the person in the company can sit there. So this is actually required by the law. And in this case, actually, when, for example, you apply for the social security officer will come to check if the employee is really working in the office. But first, if there is a real office or not, if the employee is working in the office, and then he can identify that the office is really existing. The office must show that there is the name of the company is there, the certificate. So it means that the company certificate, the VAT certificate, and they need actually to, if you want to have a work permit, it means that you need to have 4 Thai employees in the companies plus the foreigner. So that means that the 4 Thai employees must be, I will say that the rooms or the office must be, the size must be enough to have 4 Thai employees. So now with the common mistake to avoid, so I will actually of course discuss about this and give as well the speech to my colleague Dima to proceed. So maybe for the first you can go ahead for the nominal shareholder structure. Maybe you can.
Yeah, sure. I will start from the nominee shareholder structure. Since I already mentioned that there is a pretty serious practice and we see a lot of scrutiny during the last few years. And the problem here is mainly because the law for the nominee exists in Thailand for many, many years. I assume that it was from 1979 until now, but it was never enforced much. There have never been much visible problems. It's been just here and there back in the days, but right now we see pretty serious scrutiny. And according to DBD, what they mentioned on the news and so on, you can see that they mentioned that it's around 48,000 companies that have been checked and approximately 22,000 companies that they found certain mistakes here and there. So let's figure out what is nominee. Nominee is the person who is written in the name of the company. Usually it's listed as a shareholder for any amount of shares, doesn't matter whether it's 1 share or 51% of shares, whatever it is. But in reality, this person doesn't have any economical benefits and doesn't have real representation within the company. So the problem here is not because of the foreigners or something else, but because of form factor, because the form that is supposed to be doesn't meet the reality. And this is what the government is fighting right now with. So key things that you need to know when you structure the company. First of all, you need to know who are your Thai partners. They should have their voting rights, depending on the structure of the business, whether they get 51% or they get 70% or they get 0%. Depending on this, you can structure it differently, obviously. But if we are talking about the businesses where this is a requirement of having Thai shareholders, you must respect it and you must make sure that they join the company diligently, that they pursue their needs, that they invest real money, that this investment is reflected in the balance sheet, in the accounting documents, in the company bank account, and so on. So we need to make sure that this is something compliant. So the next thing is about giving them the rights, because there are certain ways of how you can take the rights from the foreigners, from the Thais, and give it mainly to foreigners, one of which is using privileged shares and common shares. But this is not the only one, but this is one that was widely used back in the days. And this is one of the things that official is really checking, whether there are common shares that gives voting power to foreigners rather than to Thai nationals, whether Thai nationals have access to bank accounts or they don't have, whether they really have income and they can really prove that they invest this money on their own or not, whether they get dividends or not, because there is no requirement to pay dividends each year by the Thai law, but it's supposed to be so, because if the company is running the business and it's profitable from year to year, so why don't you share the dividends across the board? So there are many questions about this, and there are many different angles that government is looking at, and I think it's one of the hot topics right now out in the air. So you need to make sure that all these things are aligned. And again, if you don't have enough knowledge, if you don't know how to deal with it, you must go to the lawyers, you must find professionals who will figure it out for you, who will make proper due diligence for you and make sure that your company is compliant. Because having non-compliant company and saving money in the first place and set it up incorrectly in the future can bring you to the issues that it's potentially up to 3 years of jail. And Thai jail is not a fun. So
For sure.
yeah.
For the second part, let's talk about the capital. So when we're talking about the capital, we have always a lot of questions from many clients. Do I need to have the right to pay or not pay the capital? By the law, of course, you must pay the capital. And not paying the capital, actually, you understand with all the issue, can also make more problems, because if you not pay the capital, it means that maybe your Thai partner don't invest as well. So it means that maybe your Thai partner is maybe a nominee in the structure. So paying the capital is something very important, because you can as well be prosecuted if you not follow all the obligation to pay the capital of the companies. So make sure that the capital is clearly paid. We recommend as well that the payment can be done in the company bank account, in which that we can show that all the company bank account has the money as well. This is actually the factor that is important. But mainly, the most important thing is to show that each shareholder has the money in their bank account on the time that you increase the capital or at the time that you open the companies. So for example, if you increase the capital of 2 million, make sure that you have the money in your banks to show that you can increase the capital and that actually your tech partner as well has the funds available to increase the capital as well. This is a must as per the law as well.
Yeah, and for the business scope, I will continue that you need to make sure that, again, the form factor is supposed to be as it is. And I can give you an example where it is not. This is pretty common, and our litigation department deal with it many times when foreigners, they have Thai partners, they set up the business, they think that they do everything correctly. And as example, I can bring you one case where people open the exchange where they get license for fiat currency exchange. And at the end of the day, they started exchanging crypto, which their lawyers said that it will be okay, it will be fine, just use this license, do your business and continue working. And when the government officials press the charge on them, people go to jail. Because they can't do it, because crypto exchange is regulated by absolutely different license rather than fiat exchange. And there are many stories similar to this, especially related to crypto, especially related to cannabis law, which is very broad at the moment. And many foreigners think that, okay, it's kind of Thailand, we will figure this out. But in reality, this is not. This is breaking the law, and this is very serious. And you can get into very serious problems after this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I think it's time now to switch to the question and answers, because this is our last slide. So I don't know if we give a speaker to the audience, or I can read from the chat. Let me know, Quentin, which is suit you the most. For the chat, for example, we have already some questions. We can select one.
Yes, there are some questions in the chat.
Okay. So can the shareholder be director, and what are the risks?
Yes, the shareholder can be also director. This is actually perfectly legal. There is no prohibition to be even at the same time director and shareholder. This is actually my case in the company Benoît & Partners. But of course, what is the risk? So that's a good question. For the shareholder, the risk is about the investment. So it's actually more civil risk, because you are liable for the amount of the shares that you own on the company. So it means the amount of the capital you have. So the responsibility, the liability, of the shareholder will be mainly civil. But for the director is a much more, because the director is responsible for the act of can be responsible for the management of the company. And if a big mistake or big negligence has been occurred, the director can be personally liable on civil and criminal. And even if you don't know, for example, the director don't know that he's doing something illegal, he will be for sure prosecuted as well, because the director has a full liabilities to make sure that in the company, everything complies by the law. So this, for that part, maybe Ima, you can explain what will be for example, the liability of the director if in the structure there is a nominee, for example, structure. What will be the liability of the director? If it's a new director just come, what will be the liability? Maybe you can explain.
Well, for the nominee, it's a bit tricky, because it's basically criminal offense, and this is a criminal offense for both shareholders and directors. So it will be separate offense again. From one part, there will be charges specifically for shareholders, or they call it the company with shareholders, and then specifically for the directors itself. I don't want to go deeper into how it's technically done, because it's calculated by GAM. One GAM means one change of the shareholder previously, which was done incorrectly. And it really depends on the court, and it's pretty unique in every case, because some of the companies, they are relatively new, some of the companies, they are old, and this law is usually valid for 10 years back. So they usually don't look more than for the 10 years. But again, it's all pretty specific, and it's all one by one. But generally speaking, most of the times, if we are not talking about criminal part, which everyone can be obliged to face, if we are talking about general directions, yes, director is the person who is in charge of all the management activities, who is in charge of everything what's going on in the company. And with respect to shareholders, it's mainly the capital and mainly responsibilities are only in the amount of the capital in case there is no criminal offense.
Okay, good. So yes, with the presentation will be shared the participant afterwards. Of course, we will share to Quentin and then the Chamber of Commerce will share to you. We are two foreigner partners, French and Chinese. We want to open a company selling juice, fruit juice, coffee in Thailand. As it's small business in the beginning, we would like to start with portage salarial to avoid to pay 2 million for each working permit. Do you see any problem with that or anything we should pay attention to?
This is a good question. The portage salarial, it's the name, it's the employment on record. You must know that the portage salarial, as a definition of the French, is not in the way that is defined in France, cannot be transferred to Thailand because Thailand has their own, I will say, a law about this. But you have to understand that once you work for a company, your work permit is related to the companies. So that means that, generally speaking, you work for this company. You don't work for another one. After that, if this company has a contract of services that serve this other company and in which you provide also services and other services, this is possible. So let's say that the portage salarial, as you define, cannot be put as the same in Thailand, but there might be some situation that can be put in place if everything has been done legally. It means that you work really for the company in which you have a work permit, you respect the criteria and the obligation under the Immigration Act and under work permits. It means that, for example, if the company is based in Bangkok, you cannot work in Koh Samui, you have to work in Bangkok. This is actually, for example, some ID and some information that, of course, prefer to provide. And as well, for the other point, is that the company has a real services agreement in which provide to another companies. But this is must be perfectly documented, and you need to not be like kind of fictivity. Everything must be real. With the director of the company must be agree on that part, and every of the companies and the structure must be put in place. So let's say that portage salarial, as you say, on my point of view, cannot be put in place, but outsourcing services is mainly more about this. Outsourcing services can be put in place in Thailand, depending how the procedure has been implemented.
Yeah, and I want to add here is that it will really depend on the type of the business and on the scale of the business, because if we are talking about fruit juice within one location, let's say you open a juice bar, just a small place where you will buy local fruits, put them through the juicer, and put them in a glass and sell it to your clients. You need one type of license. But if it's the same way, but you are going to sell it across the restaurants, then you need FDA license, totally different. And again, if it will be something bigger than this, and you want to sell it, for example, abroad, so that will be different type of licensing. So you need to be very specific with what exactly you are going to do to make sure that your license is meaningful to the form and factor of your business.
Yes, completely agree with you, Dima, for that part. Maybe to conclude for this question, you must know as well what you can do as per your work permit. When you're talking about portage salarial, you have normally a delimited scope of work that you can do. For example, if you can do for the scope of work e-commerce, you cannot make the juice. So if tomorrow you make the juice, but your scope of work is e-commerce, you cannot do as per the law. So my recommendation is that actually for this kind of business, you must actually is more recommended to have your own work permit in the companies, because as a director, the duty and the work, the duty of work is more wild than for just a specific work permit in which you are not the director.
Yeah, and plus there are certain regulations that you need to meet. The basic one is foreigners cannot get cash in their hands. That's number one. That's very simple and very easy rule. So that means you must have someone who will be working as a cashier, and then you are filling another position. Whether it's director, you need to work with the respect of this position. And as Maitre Benoit said, that you cannot basically be director and who will be making juice at the same time or making coffee. So it should be, your position should be very strictly defined.
Yes. I hope so I reply your question.
Maybe we will reply to the last question because we have 2 minutes left, okay, before the live is closing.
Maybe if I see the last question, permit me. So I will be honest with you, Mr. Wang, because I see the question. I will not recommend anyone to have a Thai silent partner. Everyone in Thailand must have a Thai partner. And this is actually the law. And this is very important, just to reply this question, because as my colleague explained, having a silent partner or a partner that do not have any right is criminal offense. So everyone must have a real partner. So what I can recommend you is everyone take the times to find the trustable partner that will make the business together, in which you can actually make the business together, and the partner or the Thai, all the Thai partners all together, or one Thai partner must have 51% of the shares if you do not have BOI or ABL. But for your case, Mr. Wang, you can as well maybe check, we can as well check if you can apply for a BOI. For example, this is possible if there is a manufacturing of the foods. There is maybe a possibility of making the BOI, or we can as well check for the ABL part. So this is actually the real question that you must think about. Having a silent partner is not the good solution. The solution is mainly to check if you can get the license, number one. And if you cannot get the license, find the real Thai partner.
Yeah, otherwise just change the type of the business, because unfortunately, what we see is many people are coming, they just say, we want. But if the answer is not, that means not, unfortunately. So it's either you find a way to find Thai partner, which I understand not everyone can do, and it takes some time. Maybe this is just not the time. Or you just go with the route that Maitre Benoit said. You go through the licensing part. If you can get this license, then you are compliant, everything is good. But if not, then it's better to not do it rather than get yourself into troubles, because amount of troubles is unbelievable. We've seen many, negative examples where people go to the court and, life is changing. So that's why it's better to think first, maybe think about other type of the businesses, make sure that it's compliant, it's fully legal, it's fully clean, the taxes are paid, optimized, and so on. And then you can, go this route and build your life in Thailand happily and stay here for a long time. Make sure that, you will not get in trouble, your family will not get in trouble, you will not be deported, your investment will not stay here, and so on. Because Thailand is a very friendly country when you follow the rules. Once you start breaking the rules, you may get into serious trouble.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to the audience. Thank you very much for the FTCC, for the webinar. So we wish you good afternoon. Severin, last word maybe?
There is a last question. For this.
Yeah? It's up to you.
Yes, we can make maybe the last question.
Okay.
In exit formalities, it is possible to exit this business in case of any eventualities. Alors,
if we are talking about the business where there are already nominees or something, I mean, it depends. If there was exit strategy implemented, possibly yes, but possibly not if there were no guardrails at all. So which means if you never had any kind of agreements with the shareholders and so on, and you use, I don't know, any kind of local office who did everything incorrectly, potentially this is a trouble. And the best exit there is to try to, just dissolve the company and never ever do it again. I mean, this way, just make it proper way, find the real partners, invest the real money, and move on with this. So if I understand the question correctly.
Yeah, I think it's this way. Thank you. Severin?
Yeah, so
yes,
please.
well, Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Laurent. Thank you very much, Benoit and partners. So this webinar was the first of a series designed to help entrepreneurs on SMEs better understand the key aspect of doing business in Thailand. Next month, we will cover accounting and taxation in Thailand, and we will welcome Mathilde Casalta from Fovis Mazar and Claire Boisvaux from Goryu Siam. So stay put to the next webinar. We will also send you the information and share with you the PPT of today. Thank you again for joining us and attending our seminar, and we look forward to welcoming you to next coming FTCC activities.
Can you confirm, Séverine and Quentin, that you will put in also in the YouTube from FTCC?
Yes, it is confirmed. It will be on the FTCC YouTube channel, and feel free to write a comment about any topic you think might be interesting.
Thank you very much, Quentin.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.